Hello, I am the Political Dunce, and I am about to compare President Obama's legacy to Lord Voldemort's soul. What I'm saying is, they're both in serious jeopardy at this point. For Obama, I'm going to focus on the time between Donald Trump's election victory and his inauguration. For Voldemort, I'm going to focus on the talking battle he had with Harry Potter in the Deathly Hallows, Chapter 36. Now, I'm not saying that Harry and Donald Trump are good allegories of each other, after all. And that chapter happens to be called The Flaw in the Plan. Anyway, how did Obama and Voldemort end up in their respective positions? Both men presented a friendly face early on, but carried a dark secret. For Obama, he talked about civil liberties and economic justice.
So the reason that you have this principle is not to be soft on terrorism, it's because that's who we are. That's what we're protecting. Don't mock the Constitution. Don't make fun of it. Don't suggest that it's un-American to abide by what the founding fathers set up. It's worked pretty well for over 200 years.
For Voldemort, he was a handsome Tom Riddle whom most professors admired and had great expectations of. The dark secret Obama had was that he didn't accomplish much while in office. Now, some of that was due to him not being able to make those accomplishments, chiefly Guantanamo Bay, immigration reform, gun control, etc. But others were due to him taking a steaming dump on some of his principles. More on that later. Voldemort's secrets was his Horcruxes. Voldemort's Horcrux secret started to unravel when his diary was destroyed in the Chamber of Secrets. I can only speak for myself, but Obama's secret started to unravel in 2013 when I learned about the war on whistleblowers. The fact that Obama himself quickly rushed to defend mass surveillance, and the fact that Republicans joined hands with him on this particular issue raised flags for me. Obama, in 2008, preached about reining in the excesses of government. Theory 1 states that he was merely pandering when he said this. Theory 2 states that he was Anakin Skywalker as a senator.
Don't mock the Constitution. To abide by what the founding fathers.
And he would become Darth Vader sometime after taking the oath of office. Theory 3 states that Hydra agents sat down and had a little chat with him. The war on whistleblowers will probably be the biggest blow to Obama's historical legacy, just as the destruction of the diary was one of the biggest blows to Voldemort's soul. After all, the diary likely contained half of Voldemort's soul, his second Horcrux containing a fourth, his third Horcrux an eighth, and so forth. I wonder what J.K. Rowling would have to say about soul division. But Dunce, why do you care about mass surveillance? You have nothing to fear if you have nothing to hide. Okay, 1. Voldemort's servant Pius Thicknesse said just that in Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Nothing to fear if you have nothing to hide.
2. A man from Oregon was arrested for collecting rainwater on his own property. Seriously, Google it. Are you sure you have nothing to hide, since something that trivial was worth hiding? As it happens, Voldemort did have other Horcruxes hidden, just as Obama had other issues where he fell short. There was Marvolo's ring, and Obama decided to leave CIA torturers alone. There was the diadem. Obama could have prosecuted bankers whom the Financial Crisis Inquiry Commission said were prosecutable, but ultimately decided against pushing it. The locket. Obama is sitting on his ass while the Dakota Access Pipeline issue is raging. And regarding Native Americans, Obama might be popular today, but so was President Andrew Jackson during his time. Today, we remember Jackson for the Trail of Tears. What will Obama be remembered for centuries from now? So, Obama decided to put the fate of his already fragile legacy in the hands of the Clintonal. Obama's Clintonal faced its major test November the 8th, 2016. The Dark Lord's Voldemort faced its major test May the 2nd, 1998. Both the Clintonal and the Voldemort went into their respective arenas with the advantages. Clinton's main opponent, Trump, was reeling from allegations reminiscent of Bill Cosby. Voldemort had the Ministry of Magic, an army of giants, spiders, and dementors on his side. Obama expected to have his legacy protected by dear Goddess Clinton. Voldemort expected Harry Potter dead, his diadem safe, and the Order of the Phoenix crushed once and for all. A few hours later, both empires were at their knees. Obama found himself being succeeded by his most bombastic critic, his policy in jeopardy, and a Democratic Party that seriously needs to be rebuilt. Voldemort had watched his army crumble down to the last Death Eater, his final Horcrux destroyed, and Harry Potter surviving his curse once more. At this point, both men had a choice to make. They can double down on what they've been doing and destroy their soul/legacy. Or they can turn another direction and salvage what they have left. For Voldemort, Harry had this to say. You're right, but before you try to kill me, I'd advise you to think about what you've done. Think and try for some remorse, Riddle. It's your one last chance. It's all you've got left. I've seen what you'll be otherwise. Be a man. Try for some remorse. For Obama, I might offer a couple suggestions. 1. Spare the Native Americans and their allies in North Dakota. Let whatever dark legacy that it may cause fall squarely on Trump and the oil-obsessed Republicans. 2. End the war on whistleblowers. If you think that whistleblowers are an enemy to be conquered, clearly you have something to hide. Chelsea Manning was punished for a suicide attempt. That is something to be expected in Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, and other similar nations. Not in the United States, which is supposed to be a leader in human rights. Regarding Edward Snowden, pardon him on 1 or 2 of the charges. It's the kind of compromise you complained Republicans wouldn't offer. Voldemort, as Harry Potter fans know, ultimately doubled down and showed no remorse, which ultimately sealed his fate. Mr. President, the ball is in your court.
Well, I can't pardon somebody who hasn't been, I think, gone before a court and presented themselves.
Bullshit! You do not need to look very hard to find a counterexample. And what about Chelsea Manning? She does fulfill the court requirement.
And so that's not something that I would comment on at this point. I've said in the past that I think that Mr. Snowden raised some legitimate concerns. How he did it, I think, was something that did not follow the procedures and practices of our intelligence community.
Can you name someone who was able to use those channels without being raided by the FBI or pursued by the DOJ? Because I can name CIA's Jeffrey Scudder and NSA's Thomas Drake off the top of my head. Unless